Are you happy in your business? Now, I have had my share of emotional ups and downs in my 20 years of being a solo entrepreneur coach. And the patterns I've seen in myself and in my clients is that those downs are usually when I was personally feeling unfulfilled. Sometimes it was because a launch that flopped, and sometimes it was just life and had nothing to do with business. But those ups, oh boy, those are the times when I was feeling my most authentic and completely aligned to my purpose, or when I just felt like I was rocking that work-life balance. I would be thinking I could do this all day long and never feel tired. One of my loves is sharing what works for me and what has been working for my clients to achieve this very feeling, full of passion, happiness, peace, and freedom. So I decided to create a private podcast for coaches. Maybe you just want to develop better communication skills that boosts engagement, leads to better results, and makes you feel like you're actually making a difference in the lives of the people you serve. Then you're invited too. We talk about this and more in the UBU private podcast for coaches. Whether you're a mentor, a parent, or run a client-focused business, coaching skills benefit everyone and anyone who wants to communicate in a way that builds relationships. Fall in love with your life and business again. Click the link in the show notes for your invitation to join us right now. Then come back and enjoy this episode. Hey, Difference Maker. Welcome to another bite-sized deep dive. Today we're talking about the 5 love languages and the Enneagram. I've seen a lot of posts on social media trying to make a connection between the love languages and the Enneagram. Are they legit? Stick around and let's find out. It's time to stop comparing yourself to others and plug into what is uniquely you. Welcome to Unbox Your Personality, the podcast for coaches, creatives, and educators like you who understand that your happiness makes you more effective at what you do, bringing out the best in others. I'm Jen P. Higgins, personality strategist and Enneagram fluff remover. Get laser focused on who you are and who you aren't, so you're free to make the impact you were born to make. And have fun doing it. Your personality is your business. So let's get down to business. So first of all, if you want to find out what your love language is, just go take the quiz at 5lovelanguages.com. It'll ask you a series of questions, and then it will tell you which is your primary love language. Now, when I took the test, it always came back as words of affirmation for me, but I always really felt like my love language was quality time. And after my interview with Dorene Olsen, you can listen to last week's episode. She really had me convinced that words of affirmation really is my primary love language. But just like any kind of personality profiling system, you really have all 5 of them within you. Just one is your more dominant love language, the one that you speak the most. So mine in order are words of affirmation first, and my second one is quality time. And actually, quality time and acts of service are really close together. I'm not exactly sure that if there's a significant difference there on my scores for those 2. And then gifts, receiving gifts. And my last one is physical touch. I'm not really a hugger. I will hug people and I love a good hug, but it's not my first instinct. I think it's because I have kind of some sensory issues, and so if I'm not touched with the right pressure or, those kinds of things, if you have ever dealt with sensory dysfunction or know someone who has that, then you know what I'm talking about. Quality time to me feels really type 7 because it's all about the experience, right? It's like Is it a quality experience? Is it a positive experience? But I think it's really interesting to see how I'm a type 7. I have all 5 of them. And just depending on what your motivations are, like me as a type 7, you really would think that quality time would be my number 1 because of the whole experiences thing. And that's why I thought the test was wrong. But after talking with Dorene about words of affirmation, yes, I really like that feedback. And it's not specific feedback like compliments. Like, I don't want you to tell me I'm pretty. I want you to tell me I'm funny. I want you to tell me that I created a positive experience for you. That is the type 7 interpretation of words of affirmation. And same thing with acts of service. My number 1 acts of service is if you are taking care of details that are slowing me down, love you for that. Or if you are planning a really fun experience for me, that is definitely a type 7 spin on acts of service. And then for gifts, of course, if it's going to be a fun gift, if I'm going to have a great experience, I'm going to tell you something though. If you have a type 7 in your life and gifts is not their primary love language and it is yours, you might be disappointed because you'll get a really excited, ooh, present. I want to open up the present. And then they open it and they may not respond the way you want them to if that is not also their love language. Because 7's just like the opening, the opening of the present, and the fact that you thought of them and that you're giving them this experience, and it should be wrapped. Like, it should not just be like, here, take it out of the Walmart bag at least. And then I can imagine a type 7 who has physical touch as their love languages. They're probably high-fivers and huggers and noogiers. Noogie. But you can go through each of the Enneagram types alongside these 5 love languages, and you'll see that any Enneagram type can be any love language. It's not a predictor. I came across this TikTok where she was talking about there was a 6th love language. And I've run out of time at this bite-sized deep dive, but I will talk about that in part 2 of the love languages versus Enneagram bite-sized deep dive.
Thank you for listening, subscribing, and reviewing the Unbox Your Personality podcast. To learn more about yourself, go to powercoachjen.com. Find out how you are different so you can make your difference.